Wow, thưa quý vị, không ngờ rằng là mấy ngày trước trong cái buổi trình chiếu phim đặc biệt của The Diary of a Teenage Girl với phần xuất hiện của các diễn viên và đạo diễn cho cái buổi trình chiếu phim thì nam tài tử Alexander Skarsgård đã quyết định là xuất hiện trong cái buổi premiere trong một cái hình ảnh rất là khác, rất là đặc biệt, đó là trong một cái drag queen. Và chúng tôi có cơ hội gửi đến cho quý vị cuộc phỏng vấn đặc biệt vào 2 ngày trước. Nhưng mà những quý vị nào chưa có cơ hội xem cuộc phỏng vấn của Tô Uyên với Alexander Skarsgård về cuốn phim mới nhất của anh mang tên The Diary of a Teenage Girl, sau đây chúng tôi xin được gửi đến quý vị cuộc phỏng vấn đặc biệt này. Wow, Alex, what a tough character you play in this film. How do you keep a 35-year-old guy sleeping with his girlfriend's daughter so likable?
Well, that was the big question when I read the script. I felt, and that's also what kind of intrigued me and drew me to the project, because I felt this is a real challenge. Like, how, without justifying what happens or condoning what he does, how can you make it interesting, and how can you make it layered, and how can you make this the connection real in specific moments? And I didn't know. I had no idea, but I was really intrigued. I thought it was a beautiful script, and I was really intrigued by the character. And then I got to meet Mari, the director, and I was blown away by her enthusiasm and her energy, and that's where it all began. And then it was just about finding that, like trying to, because I felt like if you play him, if it's too menacing or too like predatory, it won't be interesting. It's
obsessive, controlling.
Well, I think you make it too easy for the audience then.
Yeah.
Because then they'll just go like, oh, I hate this guy. What's he doing? Like, get rid of him.
Creepy.
Yeah. And I felt like, well, it's more interesting if you make it uncomfortable for the audience. If they can feel that he's creepy in certain moments, but you also want to find those beats where it's like, oh, this is quite real, and
right.
This is quite charming, or this connection feels real. Because it's funny or fun if the audience goes back and forth, and that makes it interesting. If you just make it a little bit more complex than that.
Right.
I understand that your director, Marielle, was very open to suggestions from her actors. Was there anything specific that you wanted to change about your character or your dialogue in this film?
No, there's nothing specific that I wanted to change, but I have to say, for someone who this has been her baby for 10 years. Wow. She, acquired the rights to the comic book, did a play on Broadway, and then adapted where she played Minnie herself, actually, and then adapted it into a screenplay through the Sundance Labs. And I mean, this has been in her head for so long, and she knows these characters so well, and it's a beautifully written script. But that said, it was pretty wonderful how inviting she was and inclusive she was. She basically wanted us to come with ideas and bring something to the table. And if I felt like she wanted us to take control of our characters and just run with it, and she was incredibly open to that. So we had 2 weeks of rehearsals, Belle, Mari, and I, in New York, in San Francisco, before we started principal photography, and we would play around with scenes, and if something wasn't quite working, or if one of us had an idea, Mari would be the first one to be like, all right, let's try that, let's go with it. And she was genuinely excited by that, which is a dream for an actor. And even on the day when we were shooting, if something wasn't quite feeling right, if we blocked it and Belle had an idea of like, wait a minute, like, what if we try it this way? Or can we just do it completely differently? Mara would be like, great, let's try it, let's see what happens. Sometimes it didn't work, and we went back to the original blocking or the original way we decided to play the scene. But sometimes we took it in a different direction, and those are great I love those moments when you come back to the hotel or your apartment at night and you go like, I had no idea that this scene would take that turn and go in this direction, but wow, that was crazy and wild and interesting. And it's great work with someone like Belle and Mari who feel the same way, where it's like, it's great when you're being surprised because that means it's alive and something can happen in any given moment.
And then you forgot to mention that working with Kristen Wiig was also a great moment for you too. Right?
Of course.
She's such a comedic,
Yeah.
great actress.
Yeah.
Great
The
comedian
bulk
actress.
of my work was with
Kristen.
with Mari actually.
Mari,
Most of it was
right.
with Mari and Belle. So we had 2 weeks of rehearsals, and then a week of shooting before Kristen got there.
Oh.
Which I think was good in a way, because that meant that because it's about a relationship behind her back, it was good to shoot that when she wasn't there, and then
Right.
so she was like an outsider in a way.
Right.
But then when she joined, I was just so excited to see what she would do, because she's obviously one of the funniest women in the world, and this is a really difficult character, and there's a lot of darkness and a lot of sadness in that character, and without making it sentimental, she did it beautifully, and of finding that balance where you think she's not a great mom and she's irresponsible, but you also connect and feel empathy for her.
Thank you so much. Great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. Tuần tới thì chúng tôi sẽ gửi đến cho quý vị cuộc phỏng vấn của chúng tôi với nữ diễn viên Belle là người Anh Quốc và nữ đạo diễn trẻ Marie Haller cho The Diary of a Teenage Girl. Xin quý vị khán thính giả vẫn tiếp tục giữ màn hình SBTN. Chúng tôi sẽ trở lại trong giây lát.